Danny, a tough trip last week to Barrow and now another long away trip to Torquay in the FA Trophy. What's your thoughts ahead of the game?
Yeah, it's obviously, I think, like you said on Saturday after the game, Saturday's a bit of a distraction from the league. It's an interesting one because as a managers, when you're working with leagues and cup competitions, do you focus on the league, do you focus on the cup? And I think from our perspective, we just want to try and put a run of games together, and so we're taking it seriously. I know some clubs not necessarily take the trophy as a serious competition, but like I've said before, it's an opportunity to try and get to Wembley, and I think that who wouldn't want to play there. So we're working hard this week to try and make sure that everyone's in the right frame of mind going into the game.
And we mentioned last week's game against Barrow, the top of the league. How will that have affected our preparation for it?
I think what the biggest kind of compliment I can give to the lads was that I don't think many of them actually had good games on Saturday at Barrow, and that sounds a bit harsh. And we've openly spoke about it. They worked hard, they tried hard, but the effectiveness in the game from a possession perspective, I think if we're honest, we probably only had two players that probably shone out or stood out on Saturday, and then to still be disappointed that we didn't get something out of the game, I think it just shows the progress that they've made over the last month or so. And all credit to Ian and his boys, they were better than us on the day, and I think even though we had the chances to get something out of the game, I think it would have flattered us a bit, and they deserve to win the match. But yeah, no, it's another game where we've kind of set a standard of, even though albeit not great with the ball, we defended well and showed some resolution in that game.
And looking ahead to Saturday's opponents, Torquay, they've had a bit of an up and down season. How do you think they'll be going into the game?
It's a real tough one to plan for, because we don't know what their thoughts are about the competition. So we can plan for what would be our perceived strongest lineup that they could put out, and then they might not want to do that. They might use it as an opportunity to give other people games. So it's a real tough one to answer. I mean, they're a good side and a good squad of players, so it's going to be a tough game, whatever they do, really. We've also seen that they're capable of getting results. I know they've had a little bit of a sticky patch recently, but I think everyone goes through that in this league at some point. So they'll be a good side and dangerous. So we have to make sure we're ready.
And you mentioned that sticky run. They haven't actually won since October, and how will that affect them, and how will it affect us even going into it?
I'm not sure, because it is a cup game. It's kind of all or nothing. You can almost let the lads off the leash a little bit. It's not about getting an away point or making sure you don't get beat, and we want to go through. So, and it's, albeit I know there could be a replay, but at the end of the day, it's going to be almost like a shootout on Saturday, and so it'll be tough. And I think that they've got the players and the capabilities to put end to a run. So we have to be cautious of that. We can't just assume that they're going to be on the floor, and I know that the centre forward's back now, and he's had a couple of games under his belt. So no, they'll be ready for us, I think.
Because they've just brought in Lloyd James for Forest Green as well, an experienced head in the league. How will that affect their preparations?
Well, you just summed it up. He's an experienced head, and whether they play him on Saturday or not, I don't know. Like I said, we don't know. We might see a completely different 11 to what they've put out all season. So we just have to play it by ear.
Because we've also brought in Craig. He had a few weeks training, as we've mentioned. He's probably looking to be ready for Saturday's game as well. Yeah,
I mean, his international clearance has come through, so that's been great for us. Obviously, we're still without Jacob. We've got 4 or 5 that we're not too sure about for Saturday because of various reasons, knocks and injuries and whatnot. And it's a tough time of year. It gets worse. It's relentless, and this is why we're trying to bring in some reinforcements just to take the pressure off some of the lads. And there are times where you just need a rest, and it's the best thing for you. So, but yeah, no, Craig's added some real value to the side.
And just finally, lads been in training again today and will be again tomorrow. How has that been with the game?
Yeah, no, it's been really good. We've promoted a couple more of the academy boys, so they've been in Rust. One in particular was excellent today. You half don't want to talk about him because someone will come and nick him, but yeah, no, he was very good today, and it's tough conditions today. The pitch was horrendous, so the stuff that we wanted to do, we probably couldn't do, and it does frustrate you, and it does set you back a little bit, because what you've planned to do can't be executed, but then we have to take the rough with the smooth, and at the end of the day, it won't affect Saturday. The boys have got to go out with a mindset that this is what we want to do, and this is how we're going to do it.
Click here for the next video, click here to subscribe.